What's up, A to Z Sports Live on this Friday. Glad to have everybody along. And once again, Deandre Hopkins continues to dominate the news cycle, not just with the Titans and the Patriots, but really across the NFL as the free agent wide receiver is heating up his talks with teams around the NFL and where he's going to play in 2023. He's got 2 visits in the books earlier this week. He started off at CMA Fest with the Titans in Nashville Sunday and Monday and wrapped up his Patriots visit on Wednesday and Thursday yesterday. So now updates on DeAndre Hopkins' communication with the Titans after his Patriots visit. So a little new information to kick off our Friday morning. And then we're going to dive into where we think and where we're all going to predict, Zach, me, and you guys in the chat on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, on where we think DeAndre Hopkins will sign throughout at the end of his free agency, and just some overall updates on the Patriots visit as well. And then some of the news that Mike Florio talked about midweek about what DeAndre Hopkins got from the Titans before he left Nashville. And it is Friday, which means ain't that good news. So Zach, welcome in. We're going to have a good show on a Friday with some good news to send us all to a great weekend. So welcome in. Let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah, make sure you have your good news locked and loaded for this Friday. As Austin said, a lot to talk about as the DeAndre Hopkins saga continues on. I mean, this is the same type of saga that if everybody remembers from Julio Jones. It was every day is what was going to happen. Is Derrick Henry going to recruit him? How do the visits go? And so now we're kind of in the same place a couple of years later with a different circumstance, but a new wide receiver and a team need. I think the team need at wide receiver has stayed the same. And we're going to dive into the information that we know over the last couple of days, including here in the last 24 hours. So broadcasting live on 3 different platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We got you locked and loaded right there. And follow us on Twitter. We'll tweet out segment by segment our YouTube links on our Twitter handle at A to Z Sports. That's always a good follow because we've got tons of information, articles, live streaming shows, good tweets, stats. I mean, we got it all there on Twitter. So follow us at ATOZ Sports. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers. How that happens is you guys take to the streets and hit the subscribe button. And if you've already subscribed to the channel, how you can help us out is like this video. We always say like the show before you go. Like the show before you go. You can like it right now, and you can like it before you go. So subscribe and or like the show on YouTube. Facebook, what's going on? Facebook, Bookers, bottom left corner of your screen. Share now to public. Sharing is caring, and caring is sharing, as we say on this show. Share the show around. We need to pop up in your Facebook friends news feed. How that works is you guys share the show. So more people will pile in over the next 5 to 10 minutes. As you guys do, subscribe and share. And let's get this party started on a Friday.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us all over social media on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, where we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time. Tweets at A to Z Sports, segment by segment for the show. Links there. Also hit us up on Instagram and on TikTok for more Titans coverage. Got to thank our sponsors because they truly make it happen for all of you guys, and they help us out. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process in Lebanon, and also WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org. They are the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans with coverage, rates, and service at fbhp.com/ATOZ. The Aura app, keeping you safe online with one click of a button. Go to our link, aura.com/ATOZ for a 2-week free trial of staying safe online. And Krebs Kubota, an elite Kubota dealer in Nashville, in the Middle Tennessee area, locations in Columbia, Franklin, and in Murfreesboro, online at KrebsKubota.com. So Zach, man, this has been DeAndre Hopkins week. I mean, it's been phenomenal to watch all the different content, the updates, and the just the fever pitch with DeAndre Hopkins in his free agency after the Cardinals released him at the end of May. And I just want to give a golf clap to Monty Ossenfort, new Cardinals GM, for releasing DeAndre Hopkins instead of trading DeAndre Hopkins, because Zach, you mentioned in the cold open about how it was with Julio, back in a couple summers ago with the Titans flirting and AJ Brown recruiting Julio Jones. Well, he was still under contract with the Falcons, and that was a trade that had to happen. And I feel like some of that fever pitch that summer helped John Robinson make that call. But man, DeAndre Hopkins being a free agent is a different beast when it comes to the coverage. So we've talked all week long, Zach, about his visit to the Titans and then his visit this last couple days up in New England. A to Z Sports, our own Doug Kyad had this last night from one of his sources, as he's covered the New England Patriots for almost a decade now. He said the Patriots visit with free agent receiver DeAndre Hopkins went well per source. Quote, a lot of mutual interest. And then Doug ended with, we'll see how things go with 5 weeks until training camp begins. And then Doug also wrote on A to Z Sports.com for our New England section that time, right? We don't exactly know what the time is going to be like for DeAndre Hopkins to make a decision, because it doesn't seem like, and you can go read more about what Doug said at A to Z Sports.com. It doesn't seem like the Patriots or DeAndre Hopkins are really in any hurry, but they feel good about where they stand. And that's on the heels of a really positive, good vibes visit to Nashville with the Titans earlier in the week.
So, I think for the Patriots, and this will get into more of the conversation down the road, but, there were some conflicting reports saying it was imminent that the Patriots, I feel like there's a lot of reporters reaching for what they wanted to have happen instead of what actually was going to happen. And we'll follow up that report with a couple of new reports from Albert Breer about the situation here shortly. But, New England hosted him on a visit and got their opportunity to, take him out on a date, just like the Titans did. But the ball is in DeAndre Hopkins' court. He can do whatever in the hell that he wants to do. This is why, and you talk about Monty Ossenfort, he afforded DeAndre Hopkins this opportunity. I felt like DeAndre in two circumstances. In Houston, he was kind of held kind of in the corner where he couldn't do anything. It was all about the Texans, and then he wanted out. And to a degree, during the draft and leading up to the draft, DeAndre Hopkins was in a similar situation. They were trying to trade him, but his contract was not indicative of teams wanting to trade for him because of his contract. So I look at this DeAndre Hopkins. This is a player's, and especially a wide receiver's, dream. Oh my gosh. Shower me with roses, court me, tell me how beautiful I am, how well I catch, how my catching radius is so big of Kevin Durant's. Like, this is DeAndre Hopkins' dream. It's any wide receiver's dream.
Yeah.
And he can make the decision that best fits him at this particular time in his career. And two teams got opportunities, one with familiarity, I think, with the Titans and Mike Vrabel and Tim Kelly, and we saw that, and one with some more familiarity with Bill O'Brien. Now, you could say that that's good, bad, and different. There were some reports that they're all good. You've got Bill Belichick that has that winning acumen. Mike Vrabel has never won a Super Bowl as a head coach. Bill Belichick has won a lot, right? So there's different sales pitches, and I think that's the unique part about now as the dust is kind of settling from the two dates. I honestly, I looked at this, and Doug's tweet is a lot of mutual interest.
Yeah.
If your buddy asked you after you went out on a first date with somebody, how would you describe the date? You just said, I think there's a lot of mutual interest. I don't think that you're like, well, they're about to fall in love and get married. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't happen, but I think that, and I respect Doug in the way that he put that, is Doug has covered the New England Patriots for a long, long time. He's talked to Tom Brady. I know Doug, you know Doug. That is a true and honest report, right? He's not trying to bait Patriots fans. And so I take value to that. And I think the same thing coming from Tennessee. This thing is a crapshoot, and it's up to DeAndre to decide.
Yeah, and I think you see a lot of mutual interest for sure. And then you look at, like, who is Doug's source? And, Doug's probably has a source, and the source doesn't want to get in trouble by creating, too much excitement for no reason about, like, one way or the other. So a lot of mutual interest is a pretty level level comment from a source compared to what happened yesterday when some social media accounts completely took what Buck Rising did yesterday on the Zone out of context and created a firestorm out of nothing.
Well,
right?
honestly, they took our article out of context, and they didn't listen to Buck's radio show, and it's no fault of their own. They weren't listening to Nashville radio, but they saw our report. Other outlets wrote on that report. That's a whole nother conversation that I would like to clarify, and we will get into, because it is the internet it's TMZ, right? Like the old TMZ. You're going to take a little nugget and you're going to try to turn it into a gold mine. And that's just not how the report went if you actually read the article, because we were very calculated, and Sam, who wrote the article, is very calculated on how it was presented. But there's a bunch of, let's just call them what they are, dumbasses on the internet that decide to try to get clicks and likes and attention and follows on Twitter. And unfortunately, it works sometimes.
Yeah. And before we move on, Titans Cal says Dov Kleiman came out quickly saying it was a done deal before he visited the Patriots. And Dov Kleiman might be an AI robot. We don't really know. So you never really know exactly what you're getting into with the internet. But Zach, there is some updated information from a very trusted media source in the NFL about what the Titans and the Patriots, the Titans and DeAndre Hopkins communication was like with DeAndre Hopkins after his Patriots visit. But first, tell everybody about Wilson County Hyundai.
Yeah, Wilson County Hyundai is where you need to go to get your next ride. Quick trip down I-40 exit 236, the Palisade, full-size SUV, third-row seating, all the bells and whistles, everything that you know. Throw away or trade in your mother's minivan, all right? Your wife doesn't need to drive that thing, okay? It's not cool anymore. Maybe one day it'll come back to be cool. Retro sometimes is in. But right now, the Palisade is in, baby, all right? You drive that into the carpool lane, you'll be turning eyes. You'll be like, whoa! Man, fuel efficiency, you can put that thing in sport mode. The kids will be screaming from recess saying, wow, can't believe your mom got that Palisade. Where'd she get it? And then you're going to turn around and be like, hey, Wilson County Hyundai. That's where. WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Go online and look at their inventory. That's Wilson County Hyundai.
And also with BetMGM win with our bonus code ATOZ Sports on your first bet offer. That means go big with your first bet offer with BetMGM. Download the app, sign up with code ATOZ Sports, and you get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. So, Zach, this morning, Albert Breer had some comments here as we see this from Dakota Randall. Albert Breer with Tauscher and Rich there up in the New England area about DeAndre Hopkins talking about the Patriots visit. Quote, this is really going to come down to Bill. It's going to have to be on Bill's terms. I think the fact that Bill and Hopkins spent one-on-one time yesterday at the end of the visit tells me those terms have been discussed. And then Albert Breer continues and says, Breer added the Titans visit went really well too, and that Hopkins was communicating with Tennessee yesterday during his visit with the Patriots. We're going to continue to follow up and see what happens. That's what Mike Vrabel said on Wednesday after OTAs. And so I think, that tells you something there too, Zach, because you had the analogy earlier of, well, I think there's mutual interest. Well, if you go out with somebody and then you check back in on the person you went out with before during that visit, that definitely tells you there's mutual interest in multiple places there from DeAndre Hopkins, doesn't it?
That, my friend, is called playing the field. And we've all done that at some point in time of our lives. And you got to play the field sometimes. I do think that, communication with the Titans, what does that mean? I think that means conversations with Mike Vrabel because they have each other's cell phones. And that, I think that is powerful. I do. And I will admit, I did not think that the Titans were going to be on DeAndre Hopkins' radar weeks ago, but they lured him in because, honestly, of the desperation of where the Titans wide receiver room is. Guys, this is an all or nothing battle between these two teams. I firmly believe who does not get DeAndre Hopkins will not make the playoffs, probably. I think that the odds drop. New England's got a tough scenario because they're riding with Mac Jones for a year, and they've got a really tough division. The Titans wide receiver room is the worst in the league. The worst in the league, I repeat. inexperienced, no depth, no, rapport with Tannehill based on last year and all the new players that they have or the second year guys. This is a massive decision that it's in the hands of DeAndre Hopkins, I think, to change the trajectory of these two franchises for next year.
Yeah, I think, and we'll talk more about this later on the show, I think DeAndre Hopkins has a bigger moving of the market with the Titans than the Patriots, and what his impact
is that because of the division?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple factors in that, because you did mention the Titans have the worst wide receiver room in the NFL, and I don't know what the Patriots win total is this year on BetMGM. I know the Titans is 7.5, and so I don't know if that changes with D-Hop. There's a lot of interesting things, but the Patriots have a tough road ahead with the divisional setup there in the AFC East. But Zach, we haven't had a chance to talk about this yet, and this kind of created a craziness on social media yesterday because it kind of snuck under the radar for a day and a half. Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk had a segment, and it was only on YouTube. It wasn't on his Twitter. It wasn't on his website, profootballtalk.com.
He puts out a lot of content, mind you, but
yeah, he does. He does. But again, like, he's got people to be able to do things for him, right? Whenever you got people that can tweet for you there, Mike, to get some good stuff out. But he had something interesting to say about DeAndre Hopkins' visit with the Titans and what came out of it once it was over.
Visited with the Titans. Sources, visit went well, and the Titans, extended an offer. Well, of course they extended an offer. What did they do? They brought him in for a visit to say no thank you. They've done their homework. Barring the guy showing up and pissing everyone off, they were going to give him an offer. And again, we said last week, this is possibly about his agent just starting the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Sitting around waiting, wasn't getting the offer that DeAndre Hopkins wanted. You got to pack a bag, you got to hop a plane, and you got to go from team to team, and you got to let these teams see you and maybe hope that somebody gets a little antsy, a little excited. We got to get this guy. He's going to sign with somebody else. So Titans meet with him. They make an offer. He's going to go to New England, and I'm sure they'll make an offer. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, will he get something better? And we talked about this yesterday. Yeah. How do you balance whatever a non-high-end contender would offer versus what Chiefs-Bills eventually would offer? Because clearly Chiefs-Bills are interested because they're the two teams that reportedly were talking to the Cardinals about a trade that never happened.
All right, so there's Mike Florio from earlier this week. So the Titans extended a quote-unquote financial offer to DeAndre Hopkins. You know, you never really hear the term financial offer that much. I have a feeling on what I think it means that we can get to here in a second. But Zach, what are your reactions to what Florio said there about what the Titans in were doing with DeAndre on his way out of Nashville?
Well, you have to give him a figure, but I think the best information of that clip the entire time was this is the agent.
Yeah.
This is what the agent gets paid to do. Once the contract's signed, now the agent collects. The player collects. Player plays.
Collect and chill. Chill and collect. Is that what Vic Beasley said?
Well, and now is not chill time, right? Now is time to go to work, and this is what the agent is doing. And I think, this would be fun. If I was DeAndre Hopkins, I'd be having a blast. Dude, you get to fly. They court you. They tell you how good you look, and then they make you an offer. Then you go to New England. You get to hang out. You get to see probably some guys that you've met at the Pro Bowl over the years, and you get to talk to Bill Belichick. They give you an offer, and then you leave. And then you wait. And then you have your agent do something. And then you pin the two against each other. The Titans offer X. You tell the Patriots what the Titans offer you. Then the Patriots offer you something better. Then you tell the Titans what the Patriots offer you. And then you go back and forth until you actually decide at one point, and this is going to be the deciding factor. The Titans and the Patriots are not the Chiefs and the Bills. We all know that. Everybody in the land knows that. This is going to come down to fit, but more importantly, financial gain. This is going to come down to a number. And what the Titans and or the Patriots are willing to pay in their desperate needs for a top-tier wide receiver. Sam and I had a discussion this week on where we thought DeAndre Hopkins fit in the NFL wide receiving landscape. we both believe that he is a top 10 receiver, closer to 10, 9, 8, 7, right? Somewhere in between there. I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. is a top 10 wide receiver, but he's making $15 million. And DeAndre Hopkins' agent knows that. The two teams know that. This is a financial, I think, position that DeAndre Hopkins and his agent are going to play until they feel comfortable about the deal that they will receive, regardless of the team.
Yeah, so we'll get into some of the fake news comments that I see in the chat here in a second. But I do want to also bring up something that not necessarily fake news, but also just inaccurate. Because Bork says, I think the Cardinals are paying him $22 million a year. No, DeAndre Hopkins is not getting any money from the Arizona Cardinals this year, but he does have a lot of dead cap space on the Cardinals cap. There's a difference in what the team has to allocate for the cap space than what the player is getting. Julio Jones played in Nashville for one season. The Titans paid him $17 million of cash during that one season. Now that cap hit currently is $8 million for Julio Jones in 2023. They're not paying Julio right now. They've already paid him. They're just having to allocate that and put it there in the projection. So DeAndre Hopkins is not getting $22 million from the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals just can't use that money that they've already paid D-Hop on players for this season. So I'll tell you what I think this financial offer is that Mike Florio threw out there, and then we're going to get the chat more involved here as well. But what I really think about this financial offer, and this is my guess and my kind of detective work on that, because I don't think it's a contract. But what I think about the financial offer. But first, the Bone and Joint Institute, they can help you out whenever an injury happens in life, because you never plan for an injury. That's stupid. So injuries happen and you have to deal with them, and they're an inconvenience, and they throw off whatever plans you had before the injury. So make sure you don't let that linger. You go fix it and take care of it before it becomes a bigger problem. And the Bone and Joint Institute, they've got all the resources there for you in Franklin, because they have the experts, over a dozen experts at the Bone and Joint Institute, who can deal with any type of injury at any type of significant level. So if it's you in adult life that just gets hurt doing something like life does, or maybe your son or daughter getting hurt playing youth sports or whatever it might be, go to the people we trust, the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org.
It is esports. Download the BetMGM app today. That will help you out if you want to win some cash, you want to win some money. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports. They're hooking you up with a great deal for new users. You get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. That is BetMGM.
All right, so Zach, I want to play the video again from Mike Florio. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but just the part about the financial offer, and I'll tell you how I feel about it.
Visited with the Titans. Sources, visit went well, and the Titans, extended an offer. Well, of course they extended an offer. What did they do? They brought him in for a visit to say no thank you. They've done their homework. Barring the guy showing up and pissing everyone off, they were going to give him an offer.
There's Mike Florio, and the title of their segment was a financial offer. It was coined financial offer, and that's not contract offer. Here's what I feel like this is. I feel like this is the Tennessee Titans obviously sitting down with DeAndre Hopkins' representation and saying, here's what something could look like. But obviously you've got something else scheduled, the Patriots, but here's what we would do, and here's what we can do for you. It's not a final offer, but here's an idea of what the parameters would look like. In my opinion, Zach, this is like athletic directors who are trying to hire a new football coach, never offering somebody until they accept the deal, right? This is a conversation about here's what we can do in order for us to take the next formality of a step in an actual offer for you to accept, because no athletic director, no head coach, no GM in the NFL wants to say, yeah, we offered this guy, but he turned us down. It's always we never got to that point where official offer was made. I think this is a parameters type conversation of the Titans saying, here's a financial structure of something that would be like what we're going to do, and then move on. But it's not an official contract offer that I think a lot of social media took and ran with. And that's just my kind of picking apart of the words being used there by Florio.
This is we're looking at.
Yeah.
We're looking at this and we're looking at that. We're looking at 1 year at this number. We're looking at 2 year at this number. We're looking at 3 year with an out at X number of years at this number.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're looking at. To give DeAndre Hopkins and his agent an idea of where they're at. So, yeah, it is not. But you get these guys in the Twitter sphere and they read something and they say contract offer slid across the table because that's what they want. That's what's going to stir the pot. But it's not the facts. And we reported the facts based on what, honestly, Florio started it. We got confirmation from Buck, but it never was a contract offer.
No.
Never once said it was a contract offer. And so that's the difference and honestly the discrepancy. But that's how things work. If you've ever been in business, I've met people out at events or on the streets and at dinner parties, whatever. And it's like, we want to work together. Okay. That doesn't mean we're working together, but we'd like to work together. And then you start having another conversation. You jump on a Zoom or you go out to lunch. Now it gets a little bit further. We're still not working together. And then there's a whole side of business that has to go through the legal process, where you got to get lawyers involved to make sure that the contracts are on both sides so you actually can work together. That's where the contracts come in. And then once the ink dries, you are now working together. So like there's a lot of buildup to it. And the Titans and the Patriots are both in the pre-phase, the getting to know you phase.
Yeah.
And where are you guys at phase? What are you guys looking at? That's how I read this, and that's usually how business goes down. The good news about the Tennessee Titans, though, is that there's only, and honestly, the New England Patriots, there's only 2 teams right now. There's not 3 or 4 or 5. I think that the Titans and the Patriots are more desperate than those other teams and are probably willing to pay a little bit more. That's why DeAndre is talking to them.
Well, and they have more to pay. Because Florio did bring up the Chiefs and the Bills, who were involved in trade talks with the Arizona Cardinals back around the draft. And we think the Titans were involved with trade talks with the Cardinals. Well, they traded up for Will Levis with the Cardinals, and that we know that they were eyeballing that 3 spot that the Cardinals had for CJ Stroud that never happened either. So the Titans and the Cardinals have been talking for months, right, about some things. And so the Bills and the Chiefs, they're kind of lurking in the back. And, the DeAndre Hopkins visits, I don't necessarily know if this is what he wants to do because it is extra work. He's not a recruit anymore. He's been a 4-star recruit. He's been a top 100 recruit where he's taken all these visits when he was a teenager.
Yeah, but he's at a crossroads in his career, Austin.
Yeah.
So he has.
But I
also
think most free agents don't do these things. Most free agents do these over phone calls and Zooms.
I disagree. At this, COVID's over.
No,
right now, at this point, DeAndre Hopkins is at a crossroads in his career. He has to maintain a lifestyle that he's been used to living, and he's got to make some money.
No, I'm not denying that part, but I'm saying like most free agents in the NFL don't take visits. It's actually more rare than we expect because
Ndamukong Suh did it. You mentioned that the other day.
I know
it happens quite a bit. I disagree,
but it's not the majority. Like the majority of free agents
at these type of. I disagree with you. At the type of players that we're talking about, they go visit.
If they are veterans and they're taking their time on their next step, yes. But again, that's not the
majority.
That's
where we are.
But that's not the majority of free agents. I also heard this from Mike Giannetti, a Spot Track on the Zone earlier this week, that after OTAs, when it comes to June and beyond, the most guaranteed money given out by a team to a free agent, again, June beyond, is $9 million guaranteed. And that's this last 6 off seasons. So at this point, it's not about big money. It's about right fits and finding and making the money work. So
so I would have to, and I don't know the specifics of that. Who are those players? DeAndre Hopkins is a very unique situation that does not happen that often.
Totally.
A top 10 wide receiver that is cut because he's not worth $22 million on a rebuilding team with a brand new general manager and without a quarterback, right? So this is very circumstantial.
It is.
Wait. Guaranteed money, Odell Beckham. Oh, you said after what date? June?
I think it was like after the draft. It was really like May, June, July season, right?
Because
Guaranteed.
when did Odell sign?
He was
Because he got guaranteed
pre-draft.
money.
He was pre-draft. Odell signed with the Ravens pre-draft because it was Lamar Jackson got his stuff done.
So
up.
this is about the timetable. That's why I said
Yeah,
this is
right.
very unique that
Absolutely.
they released him.
I agree. It is insanely unique with this, and that's what makes it fascinating, I think, overall. So real quickly, the updates. Doug Kayad from A to Z Sports said the Patriots visit went well with DeAndre Hopkins. Per source, quote, a lot of mutual interest. We'll see how things go with 5 weeks until training camp. And then Albert Breer this morning said in a New England area radio, this is really going to come down to Bill Belichick. It's going to have to be on Bill's terms. I think the fact that Bill and Hopkins spent one-on-one time yesterday at the end of the visit tells me those terms have been discussed. And then Albert Breer continued to add that the Titans visit went really well. 2, that Hopkins was communicating with Tennessee yesterday during his visit with the Patriots. And Mike Vrabel said Wednesday, quote, we're going to continue to follow up and see what happens on DeAndre. So, Zach, let's put our prediction machine together with everybody watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch and ask, where do you think DeAndre Hopkins will sign? Is it the Titans or is it the Patriots? Let's stick it between those two teams. Where do you think DeAndre Hopkins will sign? The Titans or the Patriots? But tell us all, Zach, about Farm Bureau health plans.
Yeah, FBHP.com is where to go to get your new health plan. I got my new health plan over a year ago, and I'm really glad that I did. Health, dental, and vision. Better service, better coverage, better rates. They offer all three. And I didn't realize that until I actually got a quote. I took a health assessment. Took me 20 minutes, whatever. It was on the phone. I answered them openly and honestly. And then I received a quote, I think less than 48 hours later. I realized that quote saved me 20%. It had better health coverage than my previous plan. And I signed up. I really did. And I'm really glad that I did. That money that I saved goes back into my bank account. That's the best part. And I get better coverage. So I get teledoc conferences because that's a part of my plan. If I ever get sick and I need a prescription, I can jump on. That's a new age way to see a doctor. You also have dental and vision. That they have that. Free teeth cleanings. There's an allowance for my contact lenses that I received because I've worn contacts since I was in 7th grade. 200 plus locations across the state of Tennessee. You don't have to switch. This is not, not forced to, but I would say go get a quote and then think about it. And I think you'll come up with the correct answer.
All right. BetMGM also used that bonus code right there on the screen, ATOZ Sports, when you sign up with the BetMGM app, and you get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. That's with bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up with the BetMGM app. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older, Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualifications, other requirements. First online real money wager only. Rewards issued at knowledgeable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. And for problem game of sport, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. Zach, the question for the chat is, where do you think DeAndre Hopkins will sign, the Patriots or the Titans? Those are the two options, the two teams he has visited. What is the chat saying there on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch?
Well, it's funny. It's like glass half full, glass half empty for Titans fans that we don't have a ton of Patriots fans in here. We're based in Nashville, but but then you also have the knowledge that we know that is public and then your gut feeling. So a lot goes into this answer. Titans or Patriots, where do you think he will land? Adam goes Titans. So does Jay. So does Steven. So does Mark. Eric is going Patriots. And Dodson brings up Vrabel and Belichick battle once again. It is a battle for a top 10 wide receiver in free agency. Benjamin and Steven.
And Vrabel is curling on a 1-game winning streak over Bill Belichick, if you want to count the.
Yeah, but he's also on a 7-game losing streak.
I'm dead, but fair. Good point. Which, hey, that goes into.
One is greater than the other.
Yeah.
Let's see. Valentino says the Titans. Brandon says the Titans. Eddie says the Titans. So does Mr. Jones. Kendrick, tighten up. There's a lot of positivity and belief. Ed Rogers goes with the Patriots. Kendall and Marquise and Dre all go with the Titans. So does Marcus and Cioto. Michael Kennedy is going with the Patriots. Titans Rossi goes with the Titans. Jay goes with the Titans. So does Rooney. So does William. So does Jared. So does A Vining, whatever you want to do that. Sure. Jessica goes with the Titans. So, majority is Titans. There's optimism here. I did read along Yep, Kenny. Kenny goes, nobody knows where the hell it's going to happen. We're all speculating where you want him to go, and that's what we're not asking want. We're asking a prediction. If you go to Instagram, Kenny says, look up D-Hop. There's supposedly talks with the Jets, Titans, Pats, Chiefs. Well, you got to sift through that. And he says, plus a host of others. Only DeAndre Hopkins knows where he is going. I mean, that last statement is true, but it doesn't mean that you can't predict. And, our girl Liz brings up, you also have lack of taxes because of state income tax or lack thereof in the state of Tennessee. Money is involved, feel is involved, team is involved, and future is involved. There's so many things that you have to weigh. And if it's between these two teams, Austin, where do you think DeAndre Hopkins lands?
Well, I did just see that the state of Massachusetts has a 5% tax on income. So there's that, where Tennessee has 0. So, hey, Tennessee can offer him a little bit more, or you kind of show what that difference can be in that. Man, Zach, my gut tells me and I'm not using bias on this, I'm looking at football decisions. If I'm DeAndre Hopkins, what's the biggest reason for me to play in New England? I don't necessarily have one. So I think the Titans have the best pitch. I think the Titans have the best opportunity for him. And I do think DeAndre Hopkins eventually does pick the Tennessee Titans. Of these two, I think I go Titans over Patriots because they have more to offer with Vrabel and Tim Kelly and Derrick Henry, right? Those three, I think, are greater for DeAndre Hopkins than the three, Belichick, Bill O'Brien, and Matthew Judon. Because apparently his best friend on the Patriots is Matthew Judon. And I think Derrick Henry pulls more weight than Matthew Judon. And so that's where I go. And I also look at Ryan Tannehill over Mac Jones every day of the week. And then the opportunity that is in Nashville to be able to make plays, score touchdowns, and maybe earn incentives in Nashville because of what the Titans can give you in targets rather than what the Patriots are going to give you in targets. And I just think if you're trying to win, the Titans are the only place to make the playoffs of these two teams. The New England Patriots are not going to make the playoffs this year. I feel pretty confident saying that on June 16th. They're not going to make the playoffs. The Titans could. With DeAndre Hopkins, I still think they could without DeAndre Hopkins, but with DeAndre Hopkins, a way stronger chance. So I say DeAndre Hopkins eventually picks the Tennessee Titans.
I think this comes down to money. I agree with what you have said. I think that the relationship with Mike Vrabel is probably the 1A, 1B X factor of his decision. I think their relationship, him texting him, the familiarity, all of that stuff. I think Tennessee, they're pulls some nuance of him having experience, maybe a good experience. The Titans courted him. He's doing his Instagram stories with both teams. I do think relationships usually prevail in decision making, right? Because when you have a lot of money when you're older, hey, you and your buddy who's both made a lot of money being an insurance agent and something else, hey, let's go on a business venture together because this is a time in our lives that we can do that. Here's the other X factor, though. I think money is going to be involved. And here's where I am struggling with what Rand Carthon. I just don't know Rand's tendencies enough.
Yeah, fair.
And that makes it hard to predict because my solution, is okay to go over the salary cap. That may be, the Antichrist in Rand Carthon's mindset is we do not go over the salary cap number. Like, I have no idea what he thinks about that. I don't know what the structure is. I don't know if he's, I know that Rand Carthon wants to win based on what we've seen over the last several months. Mike Vrabel wants to win. That is true. They are trying to bridge the gap and not rebuild, but reset and move forward. The money is killing me. And that's where I think that the New England Patriots are kind of leveraging. But at the end of the day, relationships. So I'll bet on Mike Vrabel. I agree with you. I think that the Titans win this. I do. I think that it's very, very close. The money scares me, but relationships should always prevail.
Yeah. I have a couple follow-up questions, and I don't necessarily know if I have the answer to either of them, but that's why I want to ask them here in a second. So if you're talking about money, here's what I think plays into it. I think the Titans, we know, have just under $8 million of cap space this year. The Patriots have just under 15. So the Patriots have about double the cap space this season than the Titans. I think the Patriots are more likely to have a 1-year deal with DeAndre Hopkins for more guaranteed money because it's a 1-year deal, where the Titans would have to make it a 2-year deal. So that leads me to my first hypothetical question, Zach. What is DeAndre Hopkins' main priority in his new team? I don't know. Like, is it winning a Super Bowl? Is it money? Is it like stability like we've seen him talk about? Is it a 1-year deal because he can hit the market again after this season for more? Or is it a multi-year deal because he wants stability? There's 5 things I just listed. I have no idea.
Well, we know one of them. No, here's one of them we do know. We know that he's looking for a stable franchise because look at the 2 teams he's talking to.
Sure.
And look at the 2 teams he came from.
Yeah. And then also the other 2 teams that are kind of floating around there are the Bills and the Chiefs.
Well, that's the Super Bowl. But you're not going to get the money that you're going to get with the Titans and the Patriots.
But I honestly don't know, like, what is his main priority? If it's money, would DeAndre Hopkins prefer a 2-year deal with the Titans or a 1-year deal with the Patriots where the guaranteed money might be kind of similar? Like, I don't know what he wants.
Well, let's look at both of those teams, Austin. The Patriots are in an experiment with Mac Jones. This is probably most likely going to be Mac Jones's last year as the starter, unless he does something miraculous and outperforms Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers within a year, and the Miami Dolphins, mind you. That also has pulled me in my decision of the Titans. You want to win, you go to Tennessee just based on the structure of the division. Nothing else. Like, it's not about anything else. Winning is easier because you don't have to play those teams twice a year. The Patriots, where did they finish last year? They were 4th, right?
Yeah. Yes, because
Or
no, they were 3rd. The Jets they both were kind of 7-10, 8-9.
Okay, and look, Louis who appears to be a Patriots fan, maybe because he says rings don't matter anymore. The Patriots are not the Patriots of old, just like the Dallas Cowboys are not the 90s Cowboys, just like the Bills are not the 90s Bills. They're close, but like it's just different. We're in a different era of football.
Yeah, these Bills are losing a couple rounds earlier than the 90s Bills.
Exactly, right? They're not making it to that point to lose. The Titans have a backup plan that the Patriots cannot sell. If you go to New England, it's an experiment for 1 year. You're going in, you're trying to make your money. But Austin, I think what you're asking is, what do you do after next year? Does DeAndre Hopkins go into the free agent market? Does he make more money?
Does he make more money at 32 after a 1 year with the Patriots?
If it's a good year, though?
But now that's
him betting on himself. You got to think about it. It's his mindset. Not
and in this
else's.
situation, he's betting on himself with Mac Jones on having that good year to make money at age 32 in next spring.
Or you find yourself in year 2 with the Titans with a questionable quarterback.
Or Malik Willis, because I don't know who's the second quarterback right now. And I know you guys talked about that yesterday.
That's what I'm saying is that I don't know if I want to put myself in that position.
Yeah, and why I think DeAndre Hopkins is not, rushing to make any decision. I think he's having to think about this.
Both are desperate teams, right?
And DeAndre Hopkins is probably asking myself, what is my main priority? And he has to find that answer out.
Why do I want to sign a 2-year deal when I know I'm just going to play 1 year with Ryan Tannehill?
Well, he would probably set it up to have an out after the first year to where he could move on
but he wants stability.
But I know that's what I'm saying. That's what I have no idea what his top priority is. Like, is his top priority winning a ring? Is it money?
I don't think it's winning a ring. I think we can set that to aside. It doesn't mean that he doesn't want to or he's not striving for.
Yeah,
but
this is what he said on the I Am Athlete podcast back in the spring: stable management, quarterback who loves the game, and a championship defense. The Titans check those 3 boxes easily.
Well, the last one, I don't know.
Championship defense? I think the Titans defense is pretty damn good.
It's not a championship defense. Come on. Let's be real. Be real.
It's
not a championship defense.
It's closer to a championship defense than the Patriots.
It's not a championship defense. Let's not label the Titans defense a championship defense. I cannot and I will not. You're getting a little too over your skis.
How many championship defenses are there? And that's
not the Titans.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we got a conversation later today to plan out some topics, and we'll go ahead and put that in there. So championship defense, yes or no?
I would love to hear your argument that it is
fine.
a champion. Keyword. There's a keyword there. It's not just defense. It's a championship.
What kind of championship are you winning? Anyway, so all right. Nathaniel says with a quick super chat, money guarantees in years. The league is young. And then I did see another super chat. 2019 or 2021 Titans. If the Titans sign Nuke. I think it's.
Let me set that, Jay. That was 2 years ago. That was like the defense is not even close to being the same. So you cannot just point out. You know what happened there? That was a Tim Kelly answer. Tim Kelly put out the best game that they've played and told me how good the Titans receivers were. Like you can't do that.
9 sacks in that playoff game. And you say it's a different defense, completely different defense?
Well, for what that game was and when it was played.
So of the 9 sacks.
No, who was on the defense?
Yeah, that's what I'm going through.
You don't value sacks, Austin. You can't play this game.
No, I do value sacks. I don't overvalue.
Discredit sacks.
I don't. No, I do not. I absolutely do.
You've said that numerous times on this show.
I say it's not everything. I say whenever I talk about sacks for a stat, it's not all.
Well, then let's talk about the team. Who's on the team and who's not on the team?
I've got the box score from that Titans-Bengals game. Leading tackler, Zach Cunningham, he is gone. Jeffrey Simmons was second, and he had 3 sacks. He's still here. David Long Jr. Had 8 tackles and a sack. He is gone and hurt again. Amani Hooker, Christian Fulton, Harold Landry, those round out your top 6 tacklers. Landry had a sack and a half, and Simmons had 3, right? Danico Autry, Kevin Byard still on this team, obviously. Bud Dupree is gone. Then you've got, the rotational guys where Elijah Molden still here. And that's kind of it for the most part. Those are the guys who made the plays in that game. Then there's Dane Cruikshank, Bud Dupree, Chris Jackson's still here, Janoris Jenkins, Jayon Brown. Again, so the majority of the guys.
Not a championship defense.
I mean, it was a 1-seed defense. It was a 1-seed defense.
1 seed? Or do you hang banners for 1 seeds?
No, I'm not saying. Again, I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about. Like I'm saying, like the Titans' defense that year was very good.
We're not talking about very good. That's the point. I don't discredit. I believe the Titans are very good defense.
And Rashad Weaver had a broken leg.
Richard's like, Zach, you're a hater. You get that out of your brain.
It's fine. Hey,
we'll talk about this. I'm calling it like I see it. There's no and Richard, I'll tell you this, like I've said this numerous times in the show. This show is not about blowing roses up where about the Tennessee Titans. That's not how the show is. There's other YouTube shows that do that. You got Titans in the background. This is real logical talk. We talk about the Titans and criticize when they need to be criticized and praise when they need to be praised. It's not that show though. There are other shows if you want, to have all the love for the Titans.
And look, we will revisit the championship defense topic because I got follow-up. But I will say, of the 9 Titans defenders that had 3 or more tackles in that Bengals game, 6 of the 9 are still on the roster and
but you devalue sacks.
I didn't talk about sacks. I talk about tackles.
It was 1 game and they lost.
Yeah, I know. And that was, we don't need to revisit that.
Well, we know why they lost.
Yeah. Todd Downing, right? Yeah, that's
no, the guy who's going to start this
year.
So,
Zach, I have my other follow-up to the Deandre Hopkins conversation. I'm going to get to that too because I really don't know the answer on this one. But first, the Aura app. I know the answer on Aura app is that they can make your internet safety so much better by downloading the Aura app, and you can get a 2-week free trial with our link aura.com/ATOZ. You have to follow the link aura.com/ATOZ to get that 2-week free trial. They found 30 data brokers had my information, and they stripped my information away from those data brokers, and they did it probably about 4 or 5 days. And so now less robocalls, less spam emails, less junk mail in my actual mailbox, because that's what Aura does. They also have credit and identity theft monitoring, password manager, VPN, and a lot of other features all inside of one app. So let Aura do the hard work for you. I don't know how to get rid of spam callers. I can't do it, but Aura does, and they can do it, and they did it for me. Again, 2-week free trial with our link, aura.com/ATOZ.
A to Z Sports, we are powered by BetMGM. Download the app today. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports. Get in on the action. It is Friday. You got all weekend to win some cash. You got the U.S. Open. There's back-to-back. You can bet on rounds. You can bet on golfers against each other. That's the best part about BetMGM. They afford you all of those. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports.
All right, Zach. So my first follow-up was, what is DeAndre Hopkins' top priority? I don't think we know the answer to that. Is it money? Is it 1 year, 2 year? Is it, a championship or playoffs? We don't know what his top priority is. Here's my other question. When is the last time that Mike Vrabel's relationship with a top free agent has worked out successfully for the Titans?
Successfully to sign or sign and play well?
So it's kind of like, because I know successfully to sign, I think, is Jadeveon Clowney, right?
Yeah, that was the first. That's why I asked.
Right, but outside of
he signed, he just didn't play well.
Right, outside of Jadeveon Clowney, who has Mike Vrabel been able to lure in as a big free agent because of him? And
yeah, but now now it's up to the Texans roster, though.
No,
because that's who he knows.
I'm talking
right?
about the Ndamukong Suh came to Nashville to have dinner with Mike Vrabel and the Titans because of Mike Vrabel, right? Julio Jones was not a.
Why did Ndamukong Suh sign with Miami at the time?
More money.
No, not more money. A Brinks truck, more money.
Okay, well.
But that's why I don't blame that on Vrabel.
No, I'm just
that
asking
was
the
Miami.
Yeah.
Man, I got to go back and look at that contract. That contract was mind blowing. So I don't think that the Titans had a chance because of what the contract represented. So I don't blame Mike Vrabel for that.
Are you sure that was the Miami, or was that after Miami cut him? I think that was when he signed with
Tampa.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking it up here.
Yeah.
No. That's when he signed with the Rams. He picked the Rams, I think. I don't know. It was definitely not Miami. It was before Tampa the first time. And then he did it with again the next year. So
it was the Bucks.
Yeah. So that's again, I'm not trying to hate on Mike Vrabel. I'm just saying, like, there's not a great successful example of Mike Vrabel landing a big free agent because of him being Mike Vrabel. That's not how the Titans have approached it. That's also not how it's worked out outside of Clowney. It's kind of it.
That was either $9 or $8 million for Suh. I don't put that on Vrabel. This is more like Jadeveon Clowney than it is Ndamukong Suh, though. There's a connection. They have their cell phone numbers. They've worked together. Like, they've seen each other in the building. Like, that I think has value. Honestly, Austin, that was the tipping point for me to pick the Titans in our question today of who do you think he will sign with. I think it's the Titans. And I will admit when I'm wrong. Everybody's like, oh, Zach, you won't ever admit when you're wrong. You said this weeks ago that the relationship has a ton of value. I discredited that because I didn't think that the Titans were on the radar. Now that they're on the radar, I think what you said weeks ago is 10 times more valid.
Yeah, no, again, that was that was my best pitch, a recruiting tactic for,
and it worked.
It's working. It hasn't worked yet.
Well, it's working. Well, Hey, you got to get a seat at the table, and the Titans have a seat at the table.
Yeah. Now I do want to clarify something because Billy Jones said Ben Jones signing, right? Well, Ben Jones was already a Tennessee Titan when Mike Vrabel got the head coaching job, so that doesn't count either. He was already here, and the Titans just extended him. Jadeveon Clowney is really it. That's the only other time the Titans have used Mike Vrabel's, relationships and draw for a bigger fish free agent.
There's a difference between the relationships and reputation.
Yes.
And I think Bill Belichick what is he using? He's using his reputation.
Yeah, but then the Patriots typically don't spend crazy money at the wide receiver position.
It's not your typical Patriots anymore, though. This is a new Patriot. The Patriots spent how much money on Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith? Good Lord.
Yeah, and that was
seen them do that.
But right, and when was it? That was right after Brady left. So
Brady's still not there.
Right, I know, but they haven't done that they spent on Juju a little, but not a lot. And compared to other,
they spent on Matt Judon.
Yeah,
a lot.
But defense. That's defense though. Like the wide receiver position, they spent more on Juju than they ever did Randy Moss. The tight end things with Jonnu and Hunter Henry in the same offseason didn't work for them, and both players underperformed those dollar figures.
I'd have to look at the Pats depth chart, but you've got Juju, you've got Kendrick Bourne, and then you're going to add DeAndre Hopkins.
And
then they've got another wideout. I mean,
Devontae Parker is there.
Yeah, man, he's fallen off
after Miami,
himself. But he has shown flashes of good. Good.
Kendrick Bourne, Juju, Devontae Parker, and then they have Kayshon Boutte, the rookie out of LSU, 6th-round pick. They have high hopes for.
Whatever happened with his legal troubles?
Well, there was just a Boutte.
Yeah.
What legal troubles?
I thought he had some legal troubles.
No, he just had some do you love ball troubles. that was Kayshon. I don't know who you're thinking of. LSU receiver.
LSU.
No, there were some speculative rumors about his eligibility and why he entered.
Why he did that? That's why I said.
But there was not legal. There was nothing legal for it. It was just some.
It was eligibility.
It was eligibility / just morality decisions that impacted.
No, he was arrested.
Kayshon Boutte.
Let's see here. This is February 21st, 2023. Tigers will be replacing wide receiver Kayshon Boutte and are dealing with some other issues. Let's see here.
I don't know if he was arrested.
Where is that?
And I don't, to my knowledge, I don't think he's ever had legal issues.
And again, I'm not trying to drag his name, so that's why I want to.
There have been some other things that have happened. That
rumors circulating about a sex party. That's what it was. I forgot.
Right. That's what I was trying to hint at, but I'm not trying to get into it because there was nothing ever
Well, we need to talk about it. I mean, it is what it is. It's when it's reported, it's open. We're not running away from it. But I want to actually be clear because when did they draft him?
6th round.
Yeah, he fell. He fell.
Yeah, it's also because he played like Booty too. He wasn't very good. He was always one.
So I guess, but I think if I'm DeAndre Hopkins, I want all the targets. And I know, Derrick Henry is going to take some away, but you're going to be on the field all the time across from Treylon Burks in the Titans offense. I don't know if you're going to be on the field all the time for the Patriots because they're find another place for Devontae Parker or whoever, but I don't know. I just think the Titans are a better position for him.
Agreed. And I don't see how anybody can really argue against it. All right, Zach, let's wrap up this Friday show with some good news like we always do. Good news on a Friday, but first, Krebs Kubota, here's some good news. You can cultivate your great relationship with your equipment provider with Krebs Kubota. They are an elite Kubota dealer in the Middle Tennessee area with 3 great locations. Murfreesboro, Columbia, and Franklin have been serving Middle Tennesseans for over 18 years. And Krebs Kubota is serious about making sure that you've got exactly what you need for your project, your application around your property, big or small. And it can be really big. If you've got a lot of land and you need some big boy stuff, Krebs Kubota's got it. If you just need a lawnmower, a tractor, or a trimmer, small equipment, they've got that as well. And they've got the best equipment in the game with the Kubota, but also the best customer service in the game with the name Krebs. So Krebs Kubota, check them out. Elite Kubota dealer, again, with 3 locations across the mid-state, Murfreesboro, Columbia, and Franklin. Online, KrebsKubota.com.
BetMGM, download the app today. Use the promo or the bonus code, ATOZ Sports. They are the king of the sports book. Let's get to good news.
News here on a Friday, like we do every Friday, sending us all to the weekend. Ain't that good news? So if you've got good news in the chat, share it for us. Zach, I'll let you go to the chat.
Well, we got a couple super chats. So
okay,
I'll go to the chat. I'll get to the super chats. Andre says that year was the Super Bowl defense with the first round out quarterback. Secondary is 32nd in yards allowed. That's going back to the championship defense or lack thereof. That's definitely not a championship defense. So Andre's in agreement.
2021. Again, we'll revisit that.
Nathaniel says, how many here are buying a D-Hop jersey when he signs?
Just don't. Don't buy the D-Hop jersey. It's not. Don't buy jerseys. It's just never going to end.
Well, if it's a 2-year deal, maybe.
Don't buy jerseys. Jerseys.
No, I'm not going to buy it, but
I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying buying jerseys leads to heartbreak and feeling like you lost money. That's just what it's going to happen.
Yeah. Honestly, buying jerseys leads to duct tape nameplates.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially number 10s.
Yeah. Number 10. Just replay. Just there you go.
Buy jerseys. Just buy number 10s.
Buy number 10 and keep padding that duct tape on top of it.
Let's see. Pistol Ramsey says, good news yesterday. It was a good day. The child support from lockup was paid to zero from $21,000. I owe nothing. It's up from here. So there you go. There's some child support good news from Pistol Ramsey. Let's see. 3-day holiday weekend. So he gets to golf from Johnny Lee. That is good news.
But what's Jeff. The holiday? Oh, Juneteenth. That's right.
That's right. Jeff Rubel says, got my car window fixed and much better this week. So there you go. Car window fixed. So the breeze is gone. Good news. The Vols are in the College World Series for Mr. Jones. Deandre Hopkins, Benjamin thinks that he's signing. We got to wait. We don't want to put anything out on the internet that's not true. Over the last 24 hours, we've learned that. Torn meniscus is healed from Adam. Woohoo. Skin spot not cancerous from Jody. That is very good news. We love that. Jason says good news. Bought 3-round trip tickets on Southwest, 50% off sale. That is true. I think yesterday was the last day of that deal. I have to check today. Let's see here. Shrike finally able to watch some live shows over the next couple months. That's always good news.
School's out for the summer. For
live is better because you get to hear it in real. There's good news from student of the game. He thinks I'm honest. There's great news right there. Just trying to be honest. Let's see here. Good news. Good news. What is your good news, Austin?
My good news, I'm following the path of Mr. Jones. It is the fact that the Vols made the College World Series. The only time I watch baseball is in June, and it's college baseball, but only if the Vols are playing. Outside of that, I don't watch baseball, but I watched a lot of baseball in the regionals and the super regionals, and I will continue with the College World Series. Vols play LSU, which I think will be a fun SEC matchup in Omaha with some really good teams and some firepower Saturday night. So I'm excited about that. Might drop a few coins on it with BetMGM. I did that over the weekend with the Southern Miss Super Regional. So that's my good news, is watching the College World Series, and the Vols, hopefully, Zach, knock on wood, fingers crossed at the same time, can follow the same path as your Ole Miss Rebels did a year ago.
It feels good. I'll tell you, when you win a national championship, you just things hit different. And then the next year you don't make the tournament, but you always have that World Series win.
I also have to say this about my alma mater. The only program, the only athletic department ever to be able to fit and do all of this in one academic year. A New Year's Six bowl game in football, Sweet 16 in the men's basketball tournament, Sweet 16 in the women's basketball tournament, College World Series in women's softball, and College World Series in baseball.
Sounds like a Tennessee statistic.
That's because they're the only one that's done it. That's why it's a Tennessee stat.
Final Four, Sweet 16. Come on. I think I throw it out because
Zach,
the Sweet 16.
All of those achievements are like a level of achievement. They're not. I'm not saying that they've won.
But in today's age, every breathing is a level of achievement.
No, but
that's
Zach,
my
I
problem.
literally just said no other program has ever done that.
I mean,
nobody.
It's the Sweet 16. If it's the Final Four,
but the fact that they've been able to.
But what is the difference between these? Like the big New Year's Six bowl game is something, right? That is at some level. The Sweet 16 is not.
Look, individually, the Vols should have made the Elite Eight, right? I understand that, but I'm talking about
take that out of it.
No, Zach. The athletic department as a whole is in a really, really healthy spot, and why I think it's a big deal is because it's
true.
Yes,
but the Sweet 16 thing—that's a crap ass stat.
No, it's not.
It is.
They're the only athletic department in 5 sports.
So name them. Name all of 5 and tell me which one doesn't fit.
The Sweet 16, but the Sweet 16
it doesn't fit.
But it is like getting to the Sweet 16.
It's reaching.
No, it's not. It's just a
it
stat.
Absolutely is reaching.
It's not.
If it was a Final Four, that is like a whoa. This is one is not like the others.
No, making the Sweet 16 is like a level. It's a level to get to. Like,
what did women's basketball made the Sweet 16 too, or did they didn't make the Final Four?
I can't remember when they lost.
I watched the Final Four. They didn't make the Final Four.
Yeah, the women's Final Four was amazing.
So I'm out on that stat. Okay. I do think that it's in a healthy spot.
But
don't use that stat to reference it. It's
a big picture view at what they're doing across all sports.
Thank you, Patrick.
And Mr. Jones is right. Nobody else can say they've done this in one academic year.
Who gives a rip? It's the Sweet 16. If it was the Final Four in both men's and women's basketball, then I'm like, oh, wow, that is damn impressive. But you're reaching.
But no, I'm not reaching. I'm putting the entire
who put that out there?
I mean, for one, me, Zach Reagan, and Charlie Burris had been tracking it, and then a lot of people put it out there.
Well, Vol boys are over there.
No, look,
I love the company ethic. But only Vol boy right there. That's nobody a Vol boy stat.
Nobody else can say that those 5 sports have had that level of success all in the same academic year.
Because the Sweet 16 is not that high of a level.
It is a level. It's a high level.
Everything's a level.
It's a high level.
It is levels away from a championship.
But Zach,
appearance.
Timeout. Any
college
basketball arena has a banner that lists Sweet 16 years. Then they have one that lists Elite 8 years, then Final 4 years, then National Championship years. That's all I'm saying.
We're getting too close to a participation trophy.
No, it's not. And I'm talking about the athletic program. I'm not singling out Vol men's basketball.
I agree with your initial statement. Yes. I do think that it is in a very healthy place, healthier than it has ever been, probably in a very, very long time.
They're the only program that's been able to do this in one academic year. It's a deal.
Sweet 16 doesn't matter. All right, we digress. Mine's short and sweet. I'm getting 1 year older on Sunday. My birthday, I'm turning 36. 36 is not sexy by any means, but I'm also not 37. There's a difference between 35 and 37, which is 36. And I'm not to the point of late 30s, in my opinion.
Correct.
And so I'm going to hold on to that. A lot happened at 35, engaged, married, all this other stuff. But 36, I'm okay with. I'm not fearful of it. I'm all right with it. That's my good news.
It's a gap birthday. It's a gap year. Like, there's no point to it.
It's kind of like a Sweet 16 banner.
No, that's stupid.
It's not Elite 8. It's not a Final Four or championship like 40. It's kind of like the Sweet 16. 36 is kind of like the Sweet 16.
No, that makes zero logical sense.
I didn't plan that. That happened.
No, that it doesn't make any sense. Like, you're gonna laugh at your own joke, but it literally does not. It does not apply whatsoever. But anyway, happy birthday coming up on Sunday.
Thank you.
So
that was not me baiting for happy birthdays. Older you get, the less you expect from your birthday, right? Like,
yep.
It's It just is what it is.
No doubt on that. All right, guys.
Patrick got it. Love of the show goes to Patrick. Patrick and I have been on the same page this entire time.
But you can laugh at it, but it doesn't make sense. But all right, guys. Hey, great show, great week of shows this week. We'll be back. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys later on, but we'll talk to you later. Before you head out of here, make sure you give the show that thumbs up. We'd appreciate that. That helps us grow the conversation with you as well. So like the show on Facebook and YouTube before you head out of here, and have a great weekend. Talk to you later on. Appreciate it as always.
Adios.